Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today. Thank you, Marion, for getting us all set up and ready to go. I really appreciate it. We've got a fun-filled 30 minutes here ahead of us. Today, we're going to talk about preparing for Giving Tuesday, a nonprofit's guide to data-driven fundraising. So this is going to be some exciting times and some exciting things we're going to talk about today. Number one, my name is Brian Sack. I'm SVP of Sales at TTH Communications. I have been in both the digital ad space and telecommunications space for roughly about 20 years. So I've worked with a lot of customers, nonprofits, associations, helping them build out successful campaigns. So very excited again to be with you. And again, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate your time today. So today, what we're going to talk about is we're going to first start off with challenges that we're facing when engaging existing and potential donors. And then we're going to talk about how to incorporate differentiators in 2026 and beyond. And it's a big deal just because I think there's a lot that's happening in the world today with digital advertising, everybody trying to get their word out, everybody trying to get as much donations as they can. And what I'd like to accomplish is how we differentiate in the marketplace today. Goals and objectives, we're going to uncover the top 3 challenges of our nonprofit partners facing during Giving Tuesday. So this is a lot of feedback from our customers of what we get and how we're going to help them. Differentiators to increase engagement and donations. And then most importantly, how Tele-Town Hall fits into your omni-channel strategy. So we're actually going to do a step-by-step phase approach into this, which hopefully is a little bit different on specifics on how you can differentiate in the marketplace during that Giving Tuesday. So just a little bit about TTH Communications. We've been in business over the last 2 decades. We've helped over 11,000 customers connect over 1 billion donors, constituents, and members. Yes, that is a whole lot, let me tell you. With our personalized engagements insight tools, we've helped countless organizations strengthen relationships, educate new and existing donors, and more importantly, increase engagement. So we'll talk a lot about increasing engagement and how we're doing that overall for everybody. And everyone, I appreciate all where you're from. Thank you very much. Very good. So top 3 challenges during Giving Tuesday. So there's probably 50 challenges that y'all are facing today. But what I'd like to do is focus on the top 3 that we receive most and how we're able to help them. And I think one of the biggest ones that I'm seeing is thousands of campaigns launching at once, right? There is a lot of noise in the marketplace today because everybody's getting their digital ads out. Everybody's doing their paid searches. And a lot of that is noise, and a lot of that is noise to people that you're trying to reach and how you're trying to differentiate them. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Challenge 2, lack of real donor connection, which I think is probably the biggest challenge today with, again, all of the ads and everything that's happening. How do you truly connect with that donor the first time and then also repeat as well? And then challenge 3 is inability to adapt in real time. So what I hear a lot of nonprofits is they have a static strategy that they come in with, and the inability to adapt based on the data that they're receiving during their Giving Tuesday causes some lack of being able to change quickly and move with what's actually happening in real time. So challenge 1, thousands of campaigns launching at once. And obviously this is a huge one. We know donors, they're hit with hundreds of emails, posts, display ads, text daily. I mean, if you can envision it, I know for myself, when that time comes around, I feel like I'm getting blasted with, 100 emails per day from different donors wanting to, get my money or donate to them. And when you times that by how many companies and nonprofits are trying to do the same thing, it's a barrage. And a lot of times it becomes a lot of noise. In addition, customers have heavily relied on email and social media. And I think today, just based on what I've seen in the marketplace, is we've almost hit that that bell curve, right? Where there's that oversaturation in the marketplace, and it's really hard to differentiate yourself in the marketplace because of that. And then everyone is saying the same thing. So I'll touch a little bit on AI and how that's happening, where now everybody's trying to do the same types of campaigns, the same types of paid search, the same types of timing of when they're doing things, right? So there's a lot of that happening in the marketplace, and it's a really big challenge to say, hey, how am I going to stand out, especially during these times? So challenge 2, lack of real donor connection. So donors do not give just because they see something. So I think we expect a lot of times, like if we're running a lot of display ads out there, that, oh, they're going to open, they're going to redirect back to our site, and they're going to donate, right? There's actually a lot of sentiment behind that when they actually are passionate about something that they're ready to give. It's not the display ad, it's actually somebody talking to them live and having a real conversation on why that is. And we'll talk more about that in a second. Number 2, 60% of donors stop giving due to lack of meaningful connection and mistrust of social media. So a lot of the emails and display ads, a lot of the audience now think it's fake, not real. They're unsure if it's real, and that's causing some confusion with everything that's happening across the board. And number 3, while email is scalable, it is becoming a very low trust, and a lot of it today goes into spam, and I think we all know that. But I think that continues to get worse and worse, and people they're looking for something that is going to help them stand out and help them change in the marketplace. And last but not least, challenge 3, inability to adapt in real time. So like I mentioned earlier, a lot of nonprofits run static campaigns, and they have their strategy in place, but when it's actually happening in real time and they're getting the data back in real time of what's happening, they have the inability to adapt and make those changes during that time. There's no, number 2 is another thing where no success metrics are set up in advance. And because we know this, right, we're running 1,000,000 miles per hour every single day. We may have only 2 or 3 people that can actually work on the campaign. So they forget a lot of, hey, what does success look like? And how do we look at that before we start, right? And then number 3, do not optimize campaigns. So that kind of ties back into number 2, where they're running their campaigns, they're doing all this good stuff, but we don't optimize in order to focus on what's working based on the data that we're getting. Some interesting stats. So today, nonprofit fundraising, the marketing mix, this is in general. So you can see the top ones, obviously paid media, email, social media. We've got website, SMS, text, and phone and voice. So this is the question now that we've all come to here. So I've got a little fun here for us on the next slide. So please remember to photograph this pie chart, and the first person to answer the next question after I finish reading it will receive the famous Starbucks gift card. So which is the most underutilized product today? Social media, SMS, phone voice, paid media, or website? So the first person that answers, yes, Elizabeth, you are correct. Fantastic. You win the Starbucks gift card. We will get your email address and all of that, and we'll send that. But yes, I know the toughest question of the day was that one, but it actually is the most underutilized. And what we're going to talk about today is how to put that incorporate that into your current mix in order to be successful, in order to increase donations and be more connected with who you're trying to reach. Again, very important. Very good though. Congratulations. Thank you everybody for the responses. Elizabeth, yes, very excited. You're very welcome. Current situation today. So just a couple more stats here for you. 32% of donors say social media inspires them to give. It's a discovery channel, but not a conversion channel, right? And that's going to be very important. There's a difference between education and actually somebody that's converting and donating and giving you those donations that you need. 54% say in-person relationships are more valuable than digital ones. And I think we're seeing a big shift here. I'm going to show you some interesting data on the next slide. But I think people, not to say that they're fed up with display ads or paid search, but I think it's becoming very tiresome. And I think a lot of our audience and target universe is looking for that real one-to-one connect relationship and a live voice to walk them through. And I think a lot of times we forget about that. Just again, with all of the sources that we have from a media standpoint, I think voice is the most powerful still. And I think voice helps connect much, much better, obviously, than display. So we'll talk more about that in a second, but 68% feel education is very important before donating. So if we're throwing out display ads, we're doing paid searches, we're doing all that fun stuff, 68% though feel that it's very important that they're educated before they actually donate. And then 65% say they are digital ad fatigued, which is very true. And I think we can probably all say yes to that one, where there's so many ads that we see every single day that it just becomes noise, kind of like what I mentioned earlier. But a couple good stats there for you. And then more importantly too is the target universe of demographics. So I broke down just live conversions of who's donating and what percentage of that are donating by the target universe and by these demographics. And what I find interesting, not so much the boomers, which is the 90%, 10%. So 90% are still live conversions. Gen X, 75% to 25%. But this millennial and the Gen Z, even though they're split, a lot of that live is they want to be educated before they make a decision, right? And what I found even more interesting is the fact that the Gen Z, very sensitive to anything that feels scripted, right? They reject anything that feels like an ad. So they grew up on technology. That's all they grew up on. But at the same time, they're feeling disconnected because I think they want to go back to more of a social environment and be educated and have a real live voice walk them through. So I think we're starting to see that balance kind of pull back a little bit, where that live voice is becoming much, much more important over time. So secrets to success we use to generate high activation. So TTH strategies, we work seamlessly with your existing strategies like direct mail and email. What I will tell you is how to incorporate deeper channel mixes with voice into your strategy. What I will never tell you to do is to not use digital advertising, paid search, and all the other good stuff. This is more incorporating into your strategy and making you stand out and making you differentiate yourself in the marketplace. Very, very important. So let's talk about the TTH Communications suite before we actually go into the strategy, which I'm really excited to show. But just to give an overview, so Tele-Town Hall, we've been in business for about 20 years, like I mentioned, and we offer a full suite of telecommunications solutions, okay? So everything's starting from our core solution, which is our town halls, and those are live calls. We can do large scales, audience, Q&A, and real-time polling. So when we talk about having that connection, that emotional connection, these Tele-Town halls are absolutely key in order to generate that awareness, generate that buzz in real time, but also showcase what what you're doing for Giving Tuesday, right? And everybody has their different things that they're doing, but it's that time that they can really focus in and show what they're passionate about. And I think that goes to back to that live voice, where digital ads for the most part can't show passion, but a live voice can. And when you're passionate about something, people feel that and they want to be able to give. They want to give to something that they like. They just need to be educated about it. We also do have texting, and we utilize a lot of our texting as part of our town halls post-event. So we have the ability to do SMS, MMS, and have the ability to send those post-events, which are very important, because then it's post-event of the Tele-Town Hall, what happens next, those follow-ups, and then we're driving them to the page to help donate. We do a lot of patch throughs as well. So very important when they're on Tele-Town halls. So if they want to press 1 and then donate, we have the ability to do that. And we also do live voice broadcasts. So there's a number of ways that we can hit a lot of people in a very short period of time and to help get them to donate. Surveys, so we do a lot of surveys. And I think this one is very underutilized. And when our customers come to us, they really didn't have surveys in mind. And, during our conversations and during our strategy meetings, what we've talked about is saying, hey, what happened to the donors that were high donors last year? And a lot of them said, well, they've kind of fallen off. And I think it's because it's losing that connection over time versus staying engaged and making sure that those larger donors or those existing donors stay relevant and they stay connected to what you're trying to achieve. So we have a lot of surveys and we do a lot of polling that we can help you with to gauge what those most important donors are and those new donors as well. And when we talk about, lastly, is insights, right? And the world is shifting very, very quickly. I remember the internet age where we thought that was the biggest, hugest explosion when we had the internet and everything that we were doing, right? And now the next, 2 to 5 years in terms of artificial intelligence are going to change the game. My belief is that if you are able to build your AI program and your strategy in stages over the next 3 to 5 years, that's going to be a winning strategy versus going all in. But what we've done here is with our Insights program is we have the ability to not only just take the raw data that you would get from a Tele-Town hall, say, number of people that join the meeting, that connects all of that. But with our Insights is we have the ability to actually take that Tele-Town hall and showcase, hey, what went really well during that Tele-Town hall? Where were there some room for improvements? Where are those opportunities? So more importantly, to say, hey, how can I increase engagement and increase donations? So we are really excited about our Insights reporting that we're offering to our customers because it's taking all of that and it's bringing real sentiment and real themes across the board in order to help you improve the goals that you're trying to accomplish. So let's talk now about strategy. So incorporating voice communications into your giving day strategy. So you can see here, I've got the channel and the role. So these are all of our solutions. So I kind of put like a full-blown strategy together here for you for something to think about. Keep in mind that with our solutions, you have the ability to use one of those, 2 of those, 3 of those. It doesn't have to be an all-in with our solutions. We have the ability to adapt with what's most important to you and the solutions that are going to help the best for you. So from a channel standpoint, we're going to talk about how to incorporate Tele-Town halls, our live voice broadcasts, patch throughs, SMS texting, and then surveys and pollings is a full solution. And then you can see just with our Tele-Town halls is community and storytelling, quick and scalable persuasion, high touch conversions, right? So we have the ability within our platform to help you do a lot of this stuff in a very, not only easy manner, but a very quick time manner as well. So it's very important. I think these types of things are what differentiates you in the marketplace from those digital ads. So kind of think about that differentiator, and that's what we're here to help you with during these times. So phase 1 is what we call building awareness. And that's really about 3 to 4 weeks out from Giving Tuesday. And again, it doesn't have to just be Giving Tuesday. We have a lot of customers that come to us that, they'll do programs once a quarter if they need outreach programs or if they want to increase what they're trying to do. But for this sake, for Giving Tuesday, typically what we see is about 3 to 4 weeks out. And what nonprofits are doing is they're running or kicking off a Tele-Town hall. And that's more of the storytelling event. So it's just getting people involved, their existing donors, maybe a new donor you're looking to target. We have the ability to set up that Tele-Town hall, and you can have, your leader or who's ever in charge of that run that Tele-Town hall and really educate that audience. Because remember, we talked about earlier about people wanting to be educated before they actually make the donation. This is the perfect time to do that. And we kind of call that our kickoff storytelling event. And then what we do post-event is we'll run live voice broadcasts. So we capture all the data of who was on the call, who was on the call the longest. And we set up separate campaigns for those live voice broadcasts to go out in order to help and get those, we'll call it initial donations, or those quick donations up front. We also do have the ability to do patch through calls as well with Tele-Town Hall. So press 1 if you'd like to donate. So we have a lot of that we incorporate within that Tele-Town Hall and that post event as well. And then obviously we've got SMS and surveys, right? So early education, right? And we talked about being able to adapt to change. So what we see a lot of nonprofits do is they'll get some survey or feedback information from a text campaign, and they'll take that information and be able to adapt to say, hey, here's actually what they're thinking, here's what they're doing, here's what they don't like. And we have the ability to help our customers adapt to that in real time and make those changes. I just put a couple of examples just on the right-hand side there for you with new CTA options. Press 1 to speak with a team member, press 2 to get updates live via text. So there's a number of different things that we can do to message and have a targeted message for you, done in a very, very quick period of time. Also, we talked about the early patch throughs that helps identify major donor prospects, and then also highly engaged supporters, right? So those, we talk about getting not only the new ones, but the ones that, may have given, a year ago, but have kind of fallen off the, kind of fall edge and you've never heard about them. We have ways that we can help re-engage them and keep them educated about what you're trying to accomplish and what your goals are. One interesting fact too is use your current direct mail and email campaigns to not only solicit donations, but also to drive attendance at your town hall. Our videos on SM Best versus graphics per this study. Videos, yeah. So customers are very dependent on the customer. We have a lot that do incorporate MMS videos into there that work really well. Others just want, that one graphic. So if it's a very powerful graphic, they a lot of times will just showcase that with what their wording is. So I would tell you, it really depends on what you want to accomplish. Both work very well, but again, it's based on a targeted nonprofit of what they're trying to accomplish and what they feel will do that, and we help and consult with that. Excellent question, thank you, Annie. But also to drive, attendance at the town hall. So if you're looking to increase that number of Tele-Town halls, you can incorporate, those into your emails to have them join, incorporate them into your display ads, into your social media. So a lot of our customers will put all of that information on to help increase that engagement. And, the results are really fantastic. Phase 2, building momentum 1 to 2 weeks out. So the goal is to convert intent into commitments. Again, a lot of our customers do a second Tele-Town hall. This one's now more of the insider briefing and early pledge drive. So now we're kind of giving that harder ask of, hey, we want your donation, right? So that second Tele-Town hall now is getting more specific to that. And then we're also increasing those live voice broadcasts and patch throughs with more of heavy use, right? And what we see is not only higher donation numbers coming from that, but also, we're reaching more of that newer audience, and we're getting the live post-event, because that's when they're most active, is when that Tele-Town is happening. And then that post-event, that's when there's just that most excitement. And then that follow through with these, with the live voice broadcast, patch throughs and texting all at the same time combined, really are impactful. And we do see a very large, increase just in terms of how much they donate, but then the number, right? And the best part is we're talking about live conversions, right? We talked about digital displays being more of educational. We see live conversions happening constantly across the board when this is happening at a much higher rate. Phase 3, Giving Day. So real-time conversion. So some of them our customers will do day before, or they'll do day of, or we call it like the live rally or the day before rally, but real-time energy. So today's the day, right? And they're again passionate about what they're doing. They're passionate about educating people to help. And then we're running a lot of live voice broadcasts, runs in 3 to 5 waves across the board. So you've got your morning kickoff, your midday push, and then the final hour splits. And we can strategically set that up and what best fits all of your needs. But again, by doing this, you now have incorporated your display ads, your paid search, but now you have these live events happening across the board, incorporating that back into your plan. And that works really, really well. And it is a true differentiator within the market. And then you can see the SMS, the reinforcement layer, adding on, having them redirected to your landing page to donate, whatever that may be, we can help you out with. Or if you're, looking just to get more information. But that's really the high touch, is that phase 3. And that's almost the all out go of, hey, we would love for you to donate. We need your help, all of that good stuff. So that's the top day on that. And then phase 4 is building donors for life, right? And I think where a lot of nonprofits miss out in what we see is that post-event and keeping up with them. So, they want to get feedback like, how did we do, right? They want to thank you. Thank you so much for your donation. So a lot of our customers will send a live voice broadcast saying, thank you so much, for donating. And then patch through calls and texting and surveys to collect feedback. And I would tell you the surveys and collecting feedback post-event are absolutely phenomenal. Imagine, you're running those live events or having all of that stuff happening, and then you're getting that almost real-time feedback to say, hey, here's what worked, here's what didn't work. But then more importantly, now you're building donors for life, because you have the ability to take all of that data, all of those phone numbers, all of those people, and then continuously connect post-event. And whether that's even donating or not, what we see a lot of our customers do is just more education post-events leading up to that final one. So very good. And then insights to help you increase. So I talked about the insights to help increase engagement. Again, very important on this. Again, we're helping nonprofits take themselves to the next level. And what I mean by that is that increasing engagement and helping you increase engagement. So to be able to identify what matters most from a Tele-Town hall, what themes were surfaced from that, right? Quantifying sentiment, and then showing what changed, not what just happened, is very, very important. Hold on one second. I got a quick question from Kristen. How do we make sure the numbers we call text have opted out in for our text messages? Yes, very good. So we do have a setup on the back end that we can say post if somebody wants to opt out. We do have that information. Where we will opt them out in the text campaign. You'll be able to see that and then make those changes fairly quickly. Actually, I should say very quickly. Great question. Thanks, Kristen. But when we go back, just touching again on the engagements pieces, being able to not only take the data, but also to have themes and sentiment of what actually happened on that call to improve that engagement is absolutely important. I think that's really the next level of not only taking the data that you have, but what do I do with that data? And that's what we're here to help you with. In summary, and I think I'm right on time here at that 12:29 mark, go figure. But in summary, incorporate Tele-Town halls, texting and surveys into your Giving Tuesday. We typically see about a 25% increase in those donations by doing that and putting that strategy together. We're here to help you. And again, I gave you a full blown of what some customers will do. But again, it really depends on your needs. And we're here to help you build that strategy out and what would be best for you. And then start building long-term donor post-giving by truly connecting with them and their causes. And, last but not least, use insights to help increase engagement and find what matters most to your audience. Because remember, it's not just about display ads, it's about a connection and a long-term connection. And that's the differentiator. And I think that's what we really are passionate about here at TTH and how we're helping our customers. So my last is it's okay to be different. Very good. Hold on, I got one more question here, Rep. Is constant contact a good tool for mass communications? It depends. It depends on your target. If we're talking about lists, maybe yes, maybe no. But it really depends on the data that you're getting from all of that, and if that's really helping you out. And we could talk more about that if you'd like later on or on a follow-up. Perfect. Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much. I'm a minute over, but please feel free to reach out to me. Post if you have any additional questions. I tried to get everybody's questions, but if you do, please, if you're looking to, set up a new strategy or different, please give us a call. We'll walk you through with how we're helping nonprofits. Thank you, Lois. Thank you, everybody, so much for your time.